What a day for Saquon.
Oh, my God.
What a day.
I know that we've done this story like 3 times already this season.
But we haven't
on a
done
Monday.
this story.
Well, guys,
This is
ridiculous.
insanity. This is
yeah.
a performance for the ages. I've put up as much offense as most other teams did.
All right, so let's start there then. We're going to dive into our Week 12 takeaways here, and it's going to start, obviously, with Saquon Barkley.
If you got Saquon again last night, my apologies to you. If you have Saquon on your team, congratulations on the victory, because it's going to be real hard to lose this week when Saquon Barkley, and a week in which we had 6 teams on a bye with some absolute stars. Jamar Chase, highest scoring wide receiver in all fantasy football this season. Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in all fantasy football. Alvin Kamara, you name it. The list goes on and on and on. And Saquon Barkley gets you 46.2 fantasy points.
Unbelievable.
With this, 26 carries, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, plus 4 catches for 47 yards. Guys, dating back to 1966, which is the furthest back the True Media tracks rushing yards in a single game. That's the 7th most by a single player in a game over the past, I can't do math that well, but it's about 60 years right there for Saquon Barkley. A career high in fantasy points, a career high in rushing yards. If you only accounted for the carries in which Saquon Barkley scored a touchdown last night, he would have had over 140 rushing yards because he had 2 rushing touchdowns of 70 or more yards. He is incredible. There is a legitimate case for him as the most valuable player in the entire NFL right now. The Eagles have won 7 straight games, and if you have Saquon Barkley on your fantasy team, you might match the Eagles' record. Heck, you might be a half game better. You might be 10-2 right now because as we think about fantasy football MVPs, the conversation certainly circles around Saquon Barkley right now.
80 fantasy points he's had in the last 2 games. 2 games.
That's unbelievable.
2 games he's had 80 fantasy. That's the stat. I mean, there's so many, but I just could not get away from that. I'm like,
It's unbelievable.
80
points. So
we have players all over our fantasy rosters who haven't come close to 80 points all year.
And we've talked about this a couple of times before already, is that, like, this season could be that much better for Saquon Barkley, right? Like, he's been stopped.
Been generous. With
9
Jalen Hurts, too.
Hat tip to our buddy Rich Rebar. 9 times this year, Saquon has been tackled at the 1-yard line. And he has not finished the drive as the touchdown scored because Jalen Hurts pushes his way into the end zone. So Saquon Barkley has been unbelievable. If you had him on your team during Bye-Mageddon, those buys may not have mattered. So shout out to Saquon Barkley.